Very, very excited.
Very cool. Yeah, I just wanted to say hi to everyone. I'm gonna let Sabrina take the wheel here, but just wanted to say hi to everyone who's here from mastering.com. You're in good hands. Um, Enjoy the session, and yeah, this is all like super interesting stuff and stuff that I've spoken to Sabrina stuff a ton behind the scenes about this kind of stuff, and it's working really well right now. So yeah, obviously you guys are here because you're interested, and definitely there's a lot to this. So go and apply what you learn, and yeah, enjoy.
Well, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to jump right into it because, like I said, we have a lot to talk about. It's going to be about 45 minutes of a presentation and then 45 minutes Q&A. So I'll try to keep an eye out on the chat, but I'll probably save most of the questions at the end since there's a lot of you. And also, you might ask a question that I end up answering in the presentation. Okay, so let's jump into it. So, I want to talk about an overview of the music industry and kind of what it's like to chase financial and creative freedom. So, growing up, maybe you were like me and you had believed this myth that you need to be a superstar, you need to be Beyonce or Lady Gaga or Ariana Grande to make a good living. But in reality, there are many ways to earn a six-figure income in the music industry. And I still believe that a six-figure income is a very comfortable living wage pretty much anywhere in the world. And the key is that if you work hard, because skills can be earned, right? Talent is something that you're born with, but skills can be earned. Um, you will find success. So hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. So this is the equation, right? If you build a strategy, so you learn and attract new opportunities, plus focus by leveraging your strengths, and while you're leveraging your strengths, improve your weaknesses, then you will reach the goal, which is, in my opinion, financial and creative freedom, doing what you love full time. Okay, so my goal for you by the end of this class, you will discover new opportunities in the music industry or in music tech that you haven't thought of. You will have to think about different ways to diversify your income. And this is good for anyone open to creating versatile music content and willing to put in the work, right? Because we still have to work hard. Okay, so a lot of you don't know me very well, so I want to very, very briefly talk about my story and talk about how I got here. So I always knew I wanted to make music and work as a performer. When I asked what I wanted to do growing up, I wanted to be in the music industry. So I did what many people did, and I went to Berklee College of Music because that's what I thought I needed to do. I majored in vocal performance, but when I graduated one of the best colleges in the world, I had no idea how I was going to make money. So again, I did what a lot of people did and I moved to New York City. I was working lots of odd jobs. There I am working as a clown and I was paying way too much for a very small apartment, very far away from the center of everything going on. And I was auditioning a lot. And I landed my first job pretty much right after moving to New York City, which was working on a cruise ship and I got to travel the world. There I am with 40,000 penguins in South Georgia for my singing job. There I am singing on the sail away. How many of you here worked on a cruise ship? Did anyone have that job? It's a pretty cool job. I worked 3 to 5 hours a day, 7 days a week, but being on a cruise ship is not as glamorous as it sounds, right? You have crew drill, cabin inspection, and you're stuck on the tin vessel with whoever else you're living with at that time. So I did not want to work on a ship forever. But I did walk off the ship with $30,000 in the bank. So as a 22-year-old or 21-year-old, I was like, wow, just got out of school, made a really good living singing. Next stop, Grammys. Right? Wrong, right? Here I am in my singer-songwriting era, and I had no idea how I was going to make money. I was passing out these business cards. I wanted 10,000 fans, but I had no idea how to get them. So I royally failed. And in 6 months, I went from $30,000 in the bank to $0 in the bank. And that sucked. But I was young, so it was fine. I went back to just focusing on being a cover band singer, just getting gigs. So here I am singing in a 90s cover band. I worked for many cover bands, wedding bands. I sang at nursing homes, you name it, right? And I really felt like a gig junkie. Maybe some of you guys feel like a gig junkie now. Like they would call me on a Saturday afternoon. I'd be out with my friends at brunch, and they would say, "Hey, can you sing a gig tonight in Long Island?" So I'd run home, grab my gown, and then hop on the train to Long Island because I needed the money. It was great. It was great high paying gigs. I learned a lot, but I always had to have a day job because the gigs were instability. The gigs were not consistent. And I also knew that I wanted to be the boss. I have this entrepreneurial chip inside of me, and I wanted to create something of my own. So I built a girl group. This girl group was meant to go back on cruise ships to do guest entertaining. The guest entertaining gig is a lot better than the house band gig because I only had to work two shows, two 45-minute shows, and then I would get guest privileges. And I worked super hard on this. We spent so much money on costumes, sheet music, choreography. We spent so much time on choreography. I built arrangements, and we landed our first gig, which was on May 2020. Who remembers what was going on in May 2020? There were no ships on the high seas. So once again, I failed. Okay. This is my second big failure, except this time I turned 30, right? And now I was unemployed and I was defeated and I was stuck at home. And while I was stuck at home, I learned music production from an online course. Basically, Facebook was listening. They sent a little course saying learn how to produce in 30 days. I took the course. And between that and posting on TikTok, did I have my epiphany moment where I figured out what I really want to do in my life is to be able to create music. And how can I get paid to create music? I also like creating video content. I like creating products. I just love being creative. So, how can I get paid for this? And that's what I decided. I want to be a music creator. So, I built Sides Production and I finally became a full-time music creator and I finally cracked the code. Okay. Since then, I have worked with over 60 music tech companies. Here are the 60 music tech, over 60 music tech companies, and this list is growing because there are so many music tech companies. You can just be anybody who makes a plugin, and then you are now a music tech company, and you need to work with music creators. I have been sent so much free gear. Mostly everything in my studio was sent to me. I have sold thousands of my own products, so I became of my own music tech company. And the best part is I have made friends and connections with people all over the world. I have been able to release songs with people who would have never known who I was, and have gotten to speak at events like ADE, NAMM, Berkeley. I'm going to ASU next couple of weeks, actually. So by the end of this class, I really hope that you guys will see that working with music tech companies is a great way to achieve that financial and creative freedom. I hope this will inspire you to take charge and make your dreams a reality. Nobody gave this job to me, I created it on my own. It is possible making a living doing music your way. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the topics, okay? Here are the three topics we're going to talk about today. I'm going to go over the work you can do with music tech companies, how to attract these opportunities and land the gig, and how to take charge of your success by creating your own music tech business. So if you want to take notes, now is the time, okay? So first topic number one. Here are the various music tech opportunities to maximize your income. Hold on, let me just take a sip of water. Okay, so jobs are video content, sample packs, teaching, additional opportunities, and emerging roles. We're going to go over all of these in depth. Let's start with sample packs. This was my first job with music tech companies. Once they started seeing that I have a studio at my home, which is like a microphone, a MIDI controller, a DAW, and that I'm a singer, they saw that they could hire me to do vocal sample packs. So the first company reached out to me. They said, "Hey, can you make 100 samples, 4-bar loops, writing whatever you like?" And I'm a singer-songwriter, so I was really excited to get paid to do this. And since then, I have done sample packs with Soundtrack Loops, Splice, BandLab, and I've been paid anywhere from $700 up to $5,000 for one pack. Sample pack overview. They don't just have to be vocal packs, they could be anything. So remember how I said lead with your strengths? If you're really a really good drummer, you can make a drum pack. If you live in a really beautiful place with like a nice flowy lake, you can make Foley packs. You can make MIDI packs if you're a really good composer. You can make live instrument packs. You can make genre-based packs. If you're a really good lo-fi artist, you can sell lo-fi loops. Typically, what is in a pack are one shots, loops, a cover photo, a demo song, descriptions of the pack, and wet and dry versions of all the samples because there's billions of producers now. I honestly believe that. Like, because music production has become so accessible, people are just making music for fun, not even just to be a pro. Instead of going home and watching Netflix, people are making beats on GarageBand and they need different samples with different plugins because they might not be able to afford plugins or want to spend money on plugins. So if you have really cool plugins and really cool effects, you can sell those wet versions to them so they don't have to buy plugins. Okay, now let's talk about video content. This is how I personally make most of my income with music tech companies. Why I love this is, for example, if I write a song, that song will likely make $0. But then I'll work with a company that needs them to show, like Autotune, right? I'll work with Autotune and they need me to demo their plugin and they need an original song to demo that plugin. So let's say that video makes, thousands of dollars, then I will have made thousands of dollars with my song. Even though my song made $0, right? So for me, it's kind of like a loophole. And I also love it because this is how I get sent free gear. I've only been producing since 2021, so I didn't have a lot of free gear. And at that time, I didn't have any money to invest in gear. So by doing this, I'm able to get sent lots of free gear in order to make the videos. Like I said, this is my loophole. My song makes $0, video makes money. You can't make a video without a song, so I get created to make music. A lot of people, creators, will try to use a cover song in their video, and then the companies get angry because the companies want to run ads, which we're going to talk about on those songs. So they really do need original music for these videos. Okay, there are lots of ways to monetize off video content. So I'm going to talk about them all. There's videos on my channel, there's videos on their channel, there's videos for ads, there's big campaigns, and there's also long form videos, which is like a long YouTube video and a short form video. So let's talk about videos on my channels. So this is a way for music tech companies to basically hire me to make the video, which is already a valuable thing. And then they also pay extra to tap into my community because my community has more eyeballs. So they're basically paying for my distribution channel for my congregation that they could just walk in and it's a targeted audience that they can pay for. So this is a very high value, high ticket thing that music tech companies will pay quite a lot of money for. The most I've been paid is one time I got paid for just one 90-second video, $6,000 on TikTok. This was a company that I have been using since 2014 when I was just a singer-songwriter. So you can see that the value is there if you want to build your own channels. However, and also if you grow multiple platforms, you can offer packages. However, this is not, believe it or not, this is not the way that I have made most of my money because I have made most of my money creating videos for their channels. All of these companies need lots of content for lots of channels because all of these companies have an Instagram, have a TikTok, have a YouTube, maybe a Snapchat. They have their website with videos. So there's a lot of videos. So you don't need a following to do this. Like imagine if you are making videos for couple different companies, maybe 3 companies a month, and you're doing 10 videos per month for them and you get paid $500 per video. Now we're getting our way up to that 6-figure income. And they probably won't take you as long as you think because once you get to know the plugins and once you learn the skill of creating great content for a targeted audience, this can become a lot easier. Something that I like to do is push for bigger projects. So there's been times where I was posting every day for multiple companies and I was getting paid a couple $1,000s a month per company. So it was all adding up. So, like I said, you don't need to have a following for this, but you must know the skill of creating great content for a targeted audience. Another way to monetize off videos are videos for ads. So, like I said, companies these are ads that people run on Meta and they run on Google pretty much. And they are video content because they are sound on. So they're going to ask for original music. I've done ads for Output, I've done ads for Vocalia, I've done ads for Cymatics, and these companies will run these ads and be able to sell their own products. A lot of times they will provide a script, but if you are really good at writing ads, like I'm really good at writing ads, they'll pay you more. But sometimes they'll just have you run a script. Now, I really want you to think about how high value this is, okay? So back in the old days, if a company wanted to create an ad, they would have to pay for a location. They would have to pay for a director. They would have to pay for an editor. They would have to pay for someone to write the script. They would have to pay for insurance. They would have to pay for food, right? They would have to pay for travel. They might have to pay for hotels. So now when they ask you to do an ad, you're doing all of that. You're the editor, you're the script writer, you are filming it, you're doing all of the work. So you're giving them a score. Even $1,000 for an ad is a score for a music tech company. Also, the market is shifted to a user generated market. People want to buy things based on recommendations. People want to see themselves in ads. So that is why these ads are so valuable because you are part of this community that they want to sell to. Okay, now, just like I talked about big campaigns, companies will still do them. Even though the market is very user generated content, they'll still pay for big campaigns. And this has happened for me a few times. I've done them for Splice, I've done them for Novation, I've done them for Focusrite. They're really awesome because they will hire a producer and a crew. They've flown me out to professional studios or they've come to my house and they end up handling all the edits, all the photos, all the footage, and you get paid quite a lot for this and you do the least amount of work. So, and it looks the coolest. So it's really awesome when this happens. It doesn't happen for me a lot, but I love when this does get to happen. Okay, teaching. Teaching is another way that you can work with music tech companies. And in my opinion, it's the most rewarding experience because you're getting paid to help people and you're getting paid to learn. A lot of times, when I'm teaching a product from a music tech company, I have to learn about that product and I'm learning new skills. So, in a way, I'm getting paid to learn. I basically learned compression by working with music tech companies promoting their compressors. So, companies need help teaching people how to use their products, and you could get paid very well for this. You can get paid anywhere from $1,000 to $6,000 for a class series, or if you're, I'll talk about all the different ways you can teach, right? So you can teach video demonstrations on their site. So a lot of these companies that have subscriptions, they have like paywalls that include courses and whatnot. So they need they need creators to create those courses that they can give behind their paywall. They do live online classes, recorded classes, in-person classes. So this is kind of tapping into, colleges and universities and whatnot. And now let's talk about some additional opportunities. So another thing that you can do once you've built up an audience, or if you are tapping into their audience, you can host on their channels, live streams, interviews, listening sessions, remix competitions, and giveaways. So this is how much I've made for these opportunities. So from live streams, I typically get paid $1,000 per stream. For remix contest, many times I do them for free because they're fun, but sometimes I've even been paid to do them. Giveaways, again, a lot of times I do them for free because they're fun, but many times I've been paid to do giveaways also. And the best part about this is there are lots of emerging roles, right? You can get paid to train the AI. Pretty much every single plugin, every single DAW is embracing AI. And we're not going to have a conversation about the pros and cons of AI today. Whether you like it or not, it's here. People are using it. And all of the companies that I work with are ethical companies. So they are hiring musicians to train their AI. Logic hired musicians to train their session player. So, and I know people personally, my fiance who's in this chat, Ethan, is one of them who has been hired to train different companies' AIs. Um, Anytime you see a preset in any single plugin, those were built by a human, and a human was getting paid to do that. Most of the companies that I work with, their full-time staff is are also musicians. So maybe you didn't think about that as an opportunity, but you can work full-time with these companies as a musician. Also, a lot of these companies, they also have blogs and newsletters, and they need musicians to write these blogs and newsletters because how is a non-musician going to write about their latest and greatest compressor? So if you're also good at writing, you can work as a copywriter. And as you get better at content, or if you're really good at content already, you can oversee different companies' content strategies and running their ads. And the best part is there are new jobs emerging every day. Like I said, more and more people are learning this amazing thing, which is music production. They are learning from their home all over the world. I work with people all over the world. One of the companies is in China, is in Austria, is literally almost on every continent except for Antarctica. But there are so many new jobs opening, and I don't even think this job really existed a couple of years ago, and now it's like a booming job, and there's so much opportunity here. Okay, so let's jump into topic number two, right? This is a big, big question. All of these jobs sound amazing, but how do I actually get these opportunities? How do I actually get the job? So, unfortunately for us, music industry is not linear. It's a non-linear career path. If you want to be a lawyer, you more or less know the steps to become a lawyer and to get paid to be a lawyer. If you want to be a doctor, you more or less know the steps, right? We don't have to list them all here. But with music, we don't have those steps. So we have to think outside of the box. And this is a combination of manifestation, right? Having your mindset right, believing in the opportunities, knowing exactly what you want, and attracting the right opportunities. But how do we do that, right? So I'm going to talk about different ways. One is the power of social media. Social media is how I've gotten 99% of all of my opportunities in the last few years. It's not for everybody, but I really believe in the power of social media. You don't have to have a lot of followers to attract to the opportunity. You have to have the right followers. So you can focus on who's seeing your content instead of how many people are seeing your content. There are also other ways. As I mentioned, social media isn't for everybody. So you can do in-person networking. If you want to work with music tech companies, what better convention to go to than NAMM, where hundreds of music tech companies from all over the world fly to Anaheim, go into this building, and are willing and able to meet people that they can connect with. So every single year, I myself invest my own money to go to NAMM because that is a great way for me to connect with my current clients and to meet new clients. Other ways is referrals. One of my greatest moments of my life has been when Apogee reached out to me and they said, "Hey, we'd love to work with you. You have to thank your friends at Apple for referring you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've made it." So, yes, referrals. Once you start working with people, people are going to refer you. It's kind of like once you get the bus moving, it keeps on moving. And then you could do outreach, okay? So, outreach works. Outreach works if you do it correctly. If you lead with value and you have value to offer, people are going to work with you. But it is a numbers game, right? You don't know what their timing is. You don't know whether or not they need you at that moment, and you will undoubtedly have more rejection. You'll have more no's than yeses. So you really need to have thick skin. And I don't have thick skin, actually. Believe it or not, I hate getting rejected. So I don't like outreach. I would prefer just posting on social media. But if you don't like social media, you could do outreach, and outreach does work. And even though I don't like doing outreach, I still do it, and it has gotten me some jobs here and there. Okay, so what do we need to do to succeed? We need to develop a strategy. Imagine you were going to build a whole building without a blueprint. So you wouldn't know where the window goes, where the door goes, and then you put it up and you're like, ah, this doesn't work. So that wastes time, energy, and money, which we do not want to do. So, how do you build the strategy, right? Step number one is cultivating the right mindset. If you don't believe you deserve a seat at this table, nobody else will, right? People are attracted to confident people, positive people. Being positive in the music industry is a superpower. Trust me. Identifying your strengths. Nobody has your experiences, your ears. You have something to offer that nobody else does. And all you have to do is tap into that, showcase that, and people are going to want to not exploit that, but they're going to want to learn from that. They're going to want to learn and take it, get use from your strategies, your strengths. Create a signature, right? So once you identify your strengths, you're able to tap into your own uniqueness, right? So when I'm making my Logic Pro videos, when I figure out the tip and I show the tip, I go, bam. And so now people are always like, bam, that was a really cool tip. And when I'm walking around NAMM, people are like, bam. So I kind of like create a signature, and the way you create a signature is by repetition. And so once you have your signature move and the signature thing you offer, then companies are going to want to work with that specific thing, and they're going to know exactly who to call, and that will be you. And branding. So everything falls into place with your strengths. For example, my mission is to make music production and entrepreneurship more accessible to more people. So all of my content is like guerrilla type style content. All of the colors I use are girly because I find those things very approachable. And because of that, that taps into my branding. And it's just, like I said, repetition and just tapping into your strengths, your uniqueness, and cultivating the right mindset, showing up every day. And the other things that you can do to get the job is to increase your value. So, how do you increase your value? One way is to build an audience. Yes, it is a slow, tedious process. It's not a linear process, right? Like things go up, things go down, but you just got to stick with it. You can use social media as a magnet, right? But even better as a digital portfolio. So when you do go to NAMM or any other event and you get people to follow you on your socials instead of just giving them a business card, that's going to be great because the next time that person is at the doctor's office or waiting for the train or on the toilet and they're scrolling through their app and they need a job, they need a person to do a job for them, and then your videos keep popping up, they're going to be reminded of you and what you do and what you have to offer and the value that you can offer them. And then they're going to go into your bio, send you an email. Hey, I've been wanting to work with you, just been waiting for the perfect job. And ta-da, right? So that's how social media is a magnet and a digital portfolio. And you can also, and you should also, develop strong relationships. So I find it easier to develop relationships when people already know who I am. I like walking into a room and people are like, "Hi, Sides. Oh my God, I follow you on your channel. I've known you for so long," even though they're just meeting me. I'm so excited to tell you about this. I like that versus going into a room being like, "Hi, I'm Sides. I'm a music creator. Here's my Instagram." So whatever you feel more comfortable going with, do it, but then develop these strong relationships, continue building these relationships, and yeah. Okay, topic number 3. So, how to take charge of your success by creating your own music tech business. So, this is the third piece of the pie that has doubled my income, which is being the company. So your true fans want to support you. I want to tell you a really quick story. So a couple of years ago, when I first moved to Vegas, I moved here with my ex-boyfriend, and things were all going great until he decided he was unhappy and he wanted to break up with me and move back to New York, which he did. So now I was stuck with a 2-bedroom apartment on my own, and I needed to monetize, and I needed to monetize fast. So I was trying to think of all the different ways I could monetize. So I decided to sell a MIDI chord pack, and I sold 50 MIDI chord packs. No, I sold 50 chord progressions in my MIDI chord pack, block chords, right? So 50 chord progressions, block chords, and all of these amazing piano players were buying them. So I was reached out to them. I'm like, why are you buying my MIDI chord pack for $5 when you're really good and you can come up with your own chord progressions? And they said something that completely blew my mind, which is, oh, I'm not going to use your MIDI chord pack. I just want to support you because I've been watching your Logic Pro tips for months. And yeah, I just want to support you. So that was another light bulb moment. Your true fans want to support you. So imagine if you can make them a product that they want and need. So that's kind of what I did, right? So all of the things music tech companies can hire you to sell, you can sell on your own and you can double your income by doing this. So you can sell your own sample packs, which I've done. You could sell your own classes, which I've done. You could sell your own digital downloads, which I've done. You can sell your own presets and you can get creative. Sky's the limits. You never know what you can sell until you think about it and then you try it. So, just so you can get some perspective, when you're selling your own sample packs, I know people that have made hundreds and thousands of dollars. I know people that have made literally millions of dollars selling classes. I know people that have made thousands of dollars with digital downloads, presets, and like I said, get creative. Sky's the limit. So here are some of the tools that I use to build my own products. So I use Kajabi to sell my products, my website, my mailing list. That's where I host all my courses. That's where I host my community. Zoom, this is where I host my classes. Canva, that's where I create all my designs. That's where I created this slideshow. That's where I created my Logic Pro crash course. Logic Pro, that's where I build all my sample packs. That's my DAW of choice. And Calendly, that's where I schedule all my meetings. That's where I set up all the one-on-ones that I've done. Okay, so you can do this. You can tap into various music tech opportunities. You can attract these opportunities to get the jobs. And you can take charge of your success by creating your own music tech business. I really want this to be known. I am not the best singer, songwriter, producer, but I have been able to do this. So if I can do this, you can do this. I didn't have any connections. I didn't have any money. I wasn't running any ads. I did this all on my own. And like I said, if I can do this, you can do this. Okay, so next steps. Obviously, I couldn't tell you every single thing in this 45-minute intro class, but if you want to learn more, this is how you can do it. I created a 5-hour masterclass because I've learned so much in the last 4 years. I can't fit it all in this. I haven't seen anybody teaching this. So I don't even see colleges or universities teaching this, which they should. And right now, at this moment, there is more work than qualified people. Each week, my inbox has more projects than I can do, and I want to be able to refer more people. So the problems I started for you, solved for you. When I first started, I didn't know how much to charge, how to negotiate, how to build an audience, how to build products. So what you will learn how to build your strategy, planning and branding. You will learn how to create sample packs. I go deep into how to build sample packs, how to create them, how to sell them. You will learn how to teach, creating and selling, various other jobs with detailed explanations. I go very deep into content creation, the 11 skills to become a pro creator. And then if you want to build your value, I teach you how to optimize your TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And I always focus on who is seeing my channel instead of how many people are seeing my channel. You will also learn how to build an audience and earn true fans. True fans cannot be bought, they must be earned. You will learn how to land the gig, my proven strategies, how to be your own boss, resilience and growth tactics. You'll learn how to leverage your business and how to get multiple streams of revenue. And you'll learn how to master the gig by setting prices and negotiations. Also, you're going to get your digital downloads, which include my strategy workbook that you're going to fill out to build your strategy, how to build your set in order to create great videos, all of my invoice templates, and my email templates, my exact templates that have worked for me for negotiating and for outreach. Some of the people that have already taken this told me that these negotiating and outreach emails have helped beyond their music career. Okay, also, I'm going to give you a behind the scenes of me creating a sponsored video for Lewitt so you can see my entire process. And you're going to be a fly on the wall with one-on-one sessions with pro creators, Christina Tripp, who does like songwriting content, and Gemma Higgs that does a lot of really cool content. She's a great keyboard player and instrumentalist. You're also going to have access to a private community. Right now, there's over 200 like-minded members that you can get feedback from and brainstorm from with myself and others. And we also do pop-up challenges and events like the social media challenge, which is starting on March 17th. So if you join now, you can join this social media challenge. We post 5 to 6 times a week, and you can create and share. I give you a planner, all the things you need to succeed, and we do a prize. For the last prize, the winner is getting a content day with me. I'm actually flying to her house in Westchester, and we are doing a full content day together, and I'm buying her lunch. So, really cool. And I saved the best thing for last. So, as you know, a course changed my life, which is why I'm so passionate about helping others change their lives. But one thing I hate about courses is that we don't get to ask the teacher questions live. So, I am going to do pop up live mentoring group sessions so you guys can ask questions. This includes free replays, and you can submit your questions ahead of time, and you can watch all of the previous one-on-ones in the course, the group one-on-ones in the course. And the next one is April 8th. So you'll have enough time to watch all of those courses, do the content challenge, and then you'll have a bunch of questions to ask at the next pop-up. So if you're not convinced, because I know I can tell you it's amazing, but you won't believe it until you see for yourself, check this out. Okay, here are some community wins. Jam, she did the content challenge. She wasn't getting crazy views, but she was getting the right views. And she was getting an inquiry every 2 days about working with her on mixing projects. So in just that one content challenge, the course paid for itself. And since then, I know she has worked with many music tech companies like Slate Digital. Tyler learned so much from the course and landed their third sponsored video. I also know Tyler just did a sample pack with BandLab. Ivan, he's a great content creator already, and he took the course and realized that his value and was able to start charging a lot more. And Morgan learned negotiating, and on her first video, she was able to secure $75 per video. Okay, now I just want to show you something really quick, if I can. Show you this video. Hopefully, oops, wait, stop share. Let me share. Okay, hopefully you can see this.
I had no idea how to start working with music tech brands. I knew I wanted to create content for plugin companies, microphones, etc., but didn't even know how to get into a conversation with them, how to negotiate, how to make the kinds of videos they usually want, what to charge them. I had so many questions, and all of them and more were answered in the course. One very cool thing I learned was the value of the video itself, and not necessarily needing to have a massive following to get hired. If you can make great content, and Sides can show you how to do that, you can get hired to make content for tech brands. It's not always about getting in front of your audience, because they'll put you in front of their audience. So that was a huge relief for me because I'm still a smaller channel. I'm excited to share that I've already gotten hired. I've made 4 videos for 2 different brands now. I've made a little over $1,000, which I think is pretty good seeing as I just started. So I'm super pumped to share this with you. If you were thinking about partnering with music tech companies too, this is a very specific thing, and Sides made a very specific course to show you step by step what to do. It doesn't cost that much at all. I've already made my money back a few times over, so I highly recommend this one.
Sides, really quick, I just wanted to pop on and say thank you so much for the course. I learned so much, as well as I got my first job with a music tech company, a sample pack for $3,000. So that's amazing because it's really hard to make money as a musician, and I just appreciate you and wanted to send you some love. Course was definitely worth it, so thank you so much.
Okay, let me jump back into the program, the course. Oh. Okay, so that was Chimera. Guys, I promise you it's not about how you look. You can be any age, you can look any way. It's just about your skills and your value and what you have to offer. Okay, so before I decided to release this course into the public, I really wanted to make sure that what I was teaching actually worked. So I had Ethan, my fiance, who is mostly an artist and doesn't really want to work with music tech companies, I had him build a completely new channel that we did from scratch using all of the skills that I teach you in the program. And pretty much right away, he was getting opportunities, right? So within the first couple of weeks, BandLab, Safari Pedals, UJam, and Fader reached out to him, and he was making money creating ads and content for their platforms. And also, I want to do one more bonus, okay? So something that was really important to me is to try to help you guys get results, because I don't win if you don't win, and I really wanted to figure out a way to help. So what I started was an apprenticeship program. So this isn't a guarantee, but if you do the work and you invest your time and your effort into this, you get eligibility to apply for the apprenticeship program. This apprenticeship program does not cost any money, right? You actually get paid to be in the apprenticeship program. So you get paid to work with music tech companies under my guidance. I have 18 apprentices right now, and you are able to build your portfolio and connections, and we do weekly group calls every Friday for this apprenticeship program. Now, like I said, it's not a guarantee if you take this course, you get into the apprenticeship program, but you will get eligibility to apply. And the only people that are eligible to apply are the people that take this program. So I know, once again, that I can say everything about it, but I really want to show you what one of my apprentices said. And this is an apprentice I've actually followed for years on YouTube, and he took my program. Let me show you him. Maybe some of you will recognize him. One second. And then we're going to get into the Q&A.
Hello everyone, my name is...
Ooh, why is it doing that? Let me stop share. One second.
Michael.
Okay, one second. Share. Yep, okay. Can you guys see this? Everyone can see this video?
And I'm a musician and content creator from Sweden. I joined Sides course How to Work with Music Tech Companies in October of 2024. And first of all, the course itself is amazing with tons of practical tips. I actually watched it twice already and have several pages of notes I wrote down as I watched the course videos. A really nice bonus is that the course comes with an online community with fellow students that you can connect with, share tips and ideas, ask questions, and even join the content challenges we have in there for motivation and accountability. But my absolute favorite part is her apprentice program, because if you take her course and start to implement what she teaches into your own content creation, you can then apply to join her apprentice program. I was accepted into her apprenticeship, and it's the best thing ever. Not only is she an amazing mentor that guides you and gives you feedback on your videos, but she also uses her connections in the industry to get us real client work with music tech brands. Let me say that again. We apprentices get real paid work to do videos for music tech brands. I've already worked with brands like Museo, Fader, Ace Studio, Real Crafter, etc. And since she worked with brands for years, she knows exactly what they want and need, so she helps us make the best videos possible. Finally, I want to say that Sides is such a kind and generous person, full of positive optimism that will definitely boost your own excitement and drive. So I highly recommend you to get her course and then apply to join her apprentice program. I also want to thank you, Sides, for everything you do. Bye, everyone.
Okay, hold on. Let me do it again.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael and I'm a musician and content creator from Sweden. I joined Sides course How to Work with Music Tech Companies in October of 2024, And first of all, the course itself is amazing with tons of practical tips. I actually watched it twice already and have several pages of notes I wrote down as I watched the course videos. A really nice bonus is that the course comes with an online community with fellow students that you can connect with, share tips and ideas, ask questions, and even join the content challenges we have in there for motivation and accountability. But my absolute favorite part is her apprentice program, because if you take her course and start to implement what she teaches into your own content creation, you can then apply to join her apprentice program. I was accepted into her apprenticeship and it's the best thing ever. Not only is she an amazing mentor that guides you and gives you feedback on your videos, but she also uses her connections in the industry to get us real client work with music tech brands. Let me say that again. We apprentices get real paid work to do videos for music tech brands. I've already worked with brands like Museo, Fader, Ace Studio, Real Crafter, etc. And since she worked with brands for years, she knows exactly what they want and need, so she helps us make the best videos possible. Finally, I want to say that Sides is such a kind and generous person full of positive optimism that will definitely boost your own excitement and drive. So I highly recommend you to get her course and then apply to join her apprentice program. I also want to thank you, Sides, for everything you do. Bye, everyone.
That was Michael. Okay, now let me get back, and then we're going to jump into the Q&A. Okay, great. Oh, okay, so you can do this even if you have a small audience, even if you are not blonde, right? You don't have to be blonde. Even if you have a full-time job, even if you are a beginner, if you're from a different country, any age, any gender, okay? Guys, the most successful content creators in the world, I think, is like Gary Vee and Mr. Beast, and they are not blonde girls. So if you're saying that, you're just validating your own excuses for putting in the work, okay? This is the best time to start, as I mentioned, because there is a shift in marketing to user-generated content. There is more work than qualified people. There are so many music tech companies, and more music tech companies are popping up. And my goal is to refer qualified people. So before I go into this, I want to talk about the truth, right? This is going to require hard work. You can't just buy the course, but I don't succeed if you don't succeed. If you do the work, you should be able to succeed. And it's really important for me to help you every single step of the way. My goal is to be able to refer you to more people. I just referred 6 of my apprentices to work with music tech companies without me, without even me guiding them. So I had 2 choices. Obviously, I can make this course as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, or I can charge a little bit more and be able to devote more time to the group calls, the challenges, and building up the apprentice program and getting more clients for the apprentice program. So this is what I think the course should be worth. Some of my colleagues said that I should charge even more, right? I should charge $1,000, considering that you can make $1,000 in one video. But I'm not going to charge that much because it's my mission to make music production and entrepreneurship more accessible to more people. So I've dropped down the price to $500. Now, just so you can get a little perspective, I've made all of this money doing these things, right? But I wanted to drop it down to $400 if you guys are serious. And because you guys have stayed on this call all the way to the end, I want to do something even more special for you guys here. This is just for the live call. Anybody that gets the replay, they're not going to have this deal. So the big news is, for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to give you this whole program, everything, for $250. You can just scan this link. Ethan will put it in the chat. And this is just for you guys here live if you're interested. If you ask me later for this rate, I'm not going to be able to honor it. So now I want to take any questions that you guys have about working with music tech companies, whether or not you take this program or not, or any questions you have about the program. So just type your questions in the chat since there's a lot of you. And we're gonna jump into it. And also, let me know if this link doesn't work. You can just scan it with your phone, or Ethan can jump this in. Okay. I think Ethan will put in the link there. And let me just do it once to do it. Okay. What are the top three? What are the top three production avenues you would start with to put in your portfolio? So it depends on you, right? Like whatever you have to offer and whatever your goals are and your strategies, that's what I would start with, right? So for me, I started with vocal packs because I'm a singer and I had been singing for years. So why not monetize that? So depending on your strengths, that's what you start with. And then you start building out. And then when you start building up your audience or the people you want to work with and thinking about their audience, you start asking yourself those critical questions. What can I offer them? What is something that they want or need? What are problems that they have that I can solve for them? Um, what is the best way to build a website portfolio? So I really don't believe you need a website unless you're selling products. If you want to build a portfolio, build it on social media. That is where people are already hanging out. People aren't hanging out on your website. You have to get them to go to your website, which is a task. But everybody is on these platforms. So start there. You don't even have to post every single day. Just make a video like, hi, I'm da da da. This is what I do. This is a project I did. This is this I did. Here's a before and after of a project I'm working on. That is where you should build up your portfolio. Now, if you do want to build a website, once you are starting to sell products, that's when you can start, or services, that's when you can build a website. So I've used Shopify and Kajabi, and those are the only two I can really speak on because that's what I've used, but you can use whatever works best for you. Okay. How is your work-life balance? How many hours a week do you typically work? So I've gone through different phases where I've worked different amounts of times, but I do work a lot, right? I put in a lot of work, and it's something that has been important to me. But I think if you stick to whatever you can put in, that will be better than nothing. But something that I do to balance my day is I've come up with my 4M kind of framework or 4M strategy, which is I spend a minimum of 90 minutes each day on mindset, music, marketing, and money. So mindset is working out, eating healthy. Marketing is my social media content. Music is just making music, right? Because I'm really good at marketing and I'm really, really good at sales. So I could do anything. I could be just like a sales shark and sell pharmaceutical sales. But I wanted to be a musician. I want to create. So if I'm not creating on a daily basis, then what is the point of all of this? So I always am creating a minimum of 90 minutes every single day that I'm working. And then I use those songs in my videos. And then the last one is money, right? What products can I make? What outreach can I do? Product, client work. So that's how I break up my day. Um, so yes, I'm really grateful that you guys appreciate this price and think it's a great price because a lot of my colleagues have told me that I have a bad relationship with money and I should be charging a lot more. But for me, it's really about helping as many of you guys as I can. And because my mission is to make music production more accessible to more people, I really wanted to make this accessible. My goal is to really, really help you. And so that you end up making lots more money than even I've made on videos. So that's really important for me. So how do you contact companies? So I told you guys about that in the second topic, but you can do social media, which is attract and have them come to you, which is my favorite way. Or you can do outreach. And like I said, I'm going to be giving you guys all of my email templates on how I have done outreach. I did outreach with SoundGym because typically whenever I've made a promise to myself to not pay for plugins if I don't have to and try to exchange videos in exchange for plugins. So I've done a lot of outreach where I've said, hey, like, can I make a video in exchange for your product? They said yes. They didn't pay me for that. But then because I did that, they hired me to do lots of videos for them. And I've been able to make actually like thousands of dollars that way. So I'm giving you guys all of those negotiation tactics in this program. Um, So one-on-one production classes would run you? Yes, definitely. Um, do you also have an income stream from rights organizations? Oh, not really. I don't. I mean, maybe now if I looked, I've had like a couple of successful songs recently on Spotify. A couple of them have gotten I don't know, tens of thousands of streams. But that's why I love this is because I don't have to worry about monetizing my music like that, and I can just make whatever music I want to make with whoever I want to make music with. So it's really like lifted up a creative freedom for me where I can work with anybody and I don't have to have that weird conversation about like getting paid or who makes money or blah 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 because I'm doing really well with working with music tech companies. So that's what I love about this. Um Yes. So this course is forever. Like you guys have a lifetime access to this. You have a lifetime access to the community. So if you want to take advantage of this deal, like I said, I'm not going to be offering this again this low, then you can take this and jump in whenever you're ready. I'm in Spain. So yes, you can work with music tech companies anywhere. Most of my apprentices, about half of them live abroad. Some of them live in, well, you saw Michael, he's in Sweden. Some of them are in Italy. Some of them are in England. I have an apprentice in Argentina. So yeah, they're really all over the world. You can work with anyone, and my clients are all over the world, right? Like Eight Studios in China, Austrian Audio. I work with them a lot. They're in Austria. Lewitt is in Austria. People all over the world. That's what I love about this. Is it possible to start by doing spec work, giving free presets or racks? Yes, definitely. It's always a great way to exchange your value for to build up an audience and to make connections. So I definitely do that. I have a bunch of lead magnets. Actually, MIDI my MIDI course that I sold for $5 is now free. So if you guys want that, it's just linked in my bio. I have lots of free resources for you all. Oh, I have 150 followers. My followers aren't all music related. Do you have any advice? So it's amazing that you've built so many followers. My advice is to now that you learned the skill of creating good content, now you have to start thinking about how can you target that audience, right? It's always better to focus on who sees your content instead of how many people see your content. And then you can start thinking about what companies that you want to attract, what kind of content those companies would like to see, or what kind of products could you make for your audience that they want and need already. Yes, lifetime access. How much time a day will I need to commit to this course? There's not like a set number. What I love about this is like you guys get to pick your own hours. When I talk about like how you're mastering the business, like you get to decide like when and how you can put in your time. And also I talk about how you can kind of optimize your time, right? So like if you work a full-time job, you can make videos kind of like a day in a life of working a full-time job but wanting to work with music tech companies, and then you could talk about your process, right? And those videos can attract music tech companies. Like they might see what you do and what you have to offer, and they might be like, oh, I love your video, let's work together, right? So you can optimize what it is you're already doing. Serious question. Do you find that leaning more into content creation lowers your perceived value as an original artist or a producer? Do you have separate channels for your original music versus content creation for music tech companies, or are they all together? So, great question. First, let's break this up. Do you find that leaning more into content creation lowers your perceived value as an original artist or music producer? I think it raises your value. Like by 1,000 times. And let me prove it to you, okay? When I was at Berklee and we were all, this was kind of before like social media. I was at Berklee 10 years ago. So this was before like Instagram even was a thing. All we had was YouTube. And most of us were just studying and going to class and then partying or whatever, but really just like going to class and then figuring out how we're going to make money after college. Now, the most successful people at that time were Charlie Puth, or from my time at Berkeley was Charlie Puth. He was 1 year younger than me, and this girl, this duo Carmen, who's now Queen Herbie, right? And then there's other girl, Joelle James. And I've thought back at this a lot. Like, why were those people the most successful? Like, yes, they are super talented, but a lot of us were super talented. A lot of us, a lot of people at Berkeley are super talented. So, what stood them apart? And like I said, while we were all going to class, they were posting on YouTube and they were going viral on YouTube. Charlie Puth went viral on YouTube and was on the Ellen Show for going viral while he was at Berkeley. Carmen went viral for that Look at Me Now song, doing a really fast rap, and now she's Queen Herbie and she's been super successful. Joelle James went viral and she has a Grammy, right? So posting on the internet is a great way for people to discover you, for your fans and clients to find you. People are attracted to people that put in the work, that build up their online presence. You have doubled your value, tripled your value even, right? I am not even the best producer. There's producers and content creators that are probably way better than me. But the only reason why I've gotten work and they haven't is because I've posted on social media. I'm not afraid to admit it, right? So if you've learned anything today, I hope you've learned the power of social media. And if you don't want to take this giant course, I have a separate course on social media that I'll send you guys a discount link for. And that's only, I think, like $30 or $40. So if anything, learn social media. Like, that is the best thing that you can do for your career and for your life. I promise you. Okay. Are there similar opportunities for spoken word biblical music? I want to say yes. I don't know that market really well, but as long as there's people in those communities and there's people that want to spend money in those communities, which there always are, then yes, there's are opportunities. This is a lifetime membership, as I said, like this is forever, lifetime. Oh, can you please tell us the recommended equipment list that is needed? Pretty much all you need is your phone to a good phone to record videos and good lighting. And then I talk about building your set in the course because you want your videos to be aesthetically pleasing. So I talk about that. So you can invest a little bit in that. I think Ethan and I, we put in like a couple $100 or maybe even less in lighting and some artwork, bought some plants. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, this is a great question. If you're a complete beginner, how will tech companies work with you without being an expert first? I started producing in 2021. I bought Logic, Focusrite, and Splice in 2021. Exactly 1 year later, I worked with Logic, Focusrite, and Splice. Okay, I was learning as I went, and honestly, I almost feel like that's better because I feel like an expert, you might not get as excited about teaching people or excited about like what you're learning, as if you were, like starting from scratch. So you can do this at any age, at any expert skill, at any skill level. Okay. I'm gonna skip some of the questions that I've already answered. Oh, that makes me so happy. I love it when you guys like pay attention and do great positioning statement. My mission is to make music production more accessible to more people. Yes, you guys should all have a mission statement. Your mission statement is your why you're doing this and how you're going to keep going. And I started my mission statement right along, like when I get criticism in the chat, like, oh, she's just a blah, 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 or she's just a blonde, or she's just this and that. I revert back to my mission statement. Am I doing something that is helping people? Am I helping people make music production more accessible? Am I helping people make money as a musician? And if I help at least one person, then it was worth it. Then it was worth the hate. Then it was worth the criticism. I will get the criticism. And thank you so much for noticing that, Johnny. That really means a lot to me. All right. What other questions? Yes, I'm going to ASU for their career day fair. They've hired me, they're flying me out, all from social media, all from building this up. It's pretty exciting. If you're there, I'll see you there. Have you worked with anyone from India? A lot of my colleagues are from India. I haven't worked any direct Indian companies yet, but they're there. How do you get hold of these companies? I've talked about that already today, so you can watch the replay. And also, I go very detailed into that into the master classes. Okay. Yes, you can start this. Like I said, this is a lifetime access. If you want to take advantage of this rate, because like I said, it's $500. I'm giving you guys a special deal for being on this call. So you can get it now, and then you can access it later, whenever you want, whenever you're ready to jump in. This is 30 minutes to get this special rate. After that, I think I will be sending out, I don't know what the rate is going to be. So if you want to take advantage of this rate, yes, this is just for the live thing. And I think I'll only be live taking Q questions for the next 20 or so more minutes. So definitely take advantage of this rate if you want. And then like I have Afterpay and Klarna on there as an option if you want to pay in segments. Someone said I don't get my paycheck until tomorrow. If you have a special circumstance, you can reach out to me and I can see what I can do for you. But like I said, there's Klarna and Afterpay, and I really want to make this fair for everybody. Is being a pensioner a disadvantage due to conceived age? I really believe that you can be any age to do this, right? Because like I said, nobody has your experiences, nobody has your ears, and you have something to offer that nobody else does. Plus, think about it. These companies want representation from every single age group because, like I said, in this market with selling in every single product, people are buying stuff based on recommendations and people are buying stuff based on themselves. So women are buying products from other women. People your age are buying stuff from people your age. They want to see that market represented. So it's available for everybody. People in my apprenticeship program are all ages. Some of them are many years older than me. Some of them are many years younger than me. Yes, huge shout out to Rob. Thank you for partnering with me on this. Okay. If for any reason you guys are unable, or just send me an email, right? I'm gonna put my email in here if you guys have any other questions. I see some like other like finance questions. Please send those to me. This is my email, sidesproduction@gmail.com. You can email me if you have like any specific questions. So the social media stuff is included in this course, but if you want to take a separate social media class for a lower rate, because a lot of people who don't want to work with music tech companies, they just want to learn about social media, that one is a much cheaper program if you want to take that. So I will put that in the chat, but this program focuses very heavily on social media, specifically for working with music tech companies and the kind of content that they want to see. Okay. What social should be the primary focus for companies finding your content? So, all of them, right? Anywhere there's people, you can even go on Redbook, right? Because Redbook is a Chinese-based app, and there's a lot of Chinese music tech companies. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of them. Yeah, the social media is going to be discounted too. I'll send you guys a follow-up email with that. How do you find your strengths? Studying something in music is one thing, but you've been self-taught the entire time, courses included, and there's no indication as to what you might excel at or compare at others. So, soul searching, right? Start thinking about things that you weren't able to do a couple of years ago, and now you're able to do. That's your strength. And then you just keep diving deep. And then if you don't have enough of those, then document your process learning something, right? Like you can document, hey, I'm going to learn Logic Pro in 30 days, follow along. And you say, day 1 of learning Logic Pro, here's what I learned, right? Now you're building your audience, you're showing people what you have to do, at the same time as learning. How amazing is that? Um, Someone said the rate should be $1,000 after this call. 9997 after this call. Thank you. I hope you're excited. A lot of you joined the course. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get to know you in the community and for you to learn more about this. I really believe you're going to be excited. I hope. I hope. Okay, what other questions? That's my email. If you guys have any other questions that you think of later, any other issues. Um, uh, oh, I yeah, so the social media growth class is $60. Um, you don't have to like I will send you guys a discount link if you guys want to get that instead, or if you want to add that on, just let me know. Um, are there any other questions here? And like I said, here I'll put my email in one more time if anyone has any other questions after the call. Oops. This is my email. Um, oh, and that's the offer. How long is the average content video like that I post or in the course? Because the courses they range 20 minutes to an hour. Oh, on Instagram, Instagram posts are about 15 seconds to now they can do up to 3 minutes. So, definitely a variety of things. Um, People, I like this one. I learned something today. People are willing to give their money away to traveling saleswomen. So, the reason I'm so passionate about this is quite literally a course changed my life. I went to Berkeley and I didn't learn how to produce, but if I didn't take that course from on Facebook, learn how to produce in 30 days, I would not have this whole career. So those people that are like, "Well, don't take courses, blah, blah, blah," that fine for them, but like they're not changing their lives. There's nothing better to instead of buying like some alcohol at a bar or whatever, you can invest in your skills and that's going to change your life. So I don't let that kind of negativity, affect my long-term goals. Okay. Anyways, mini courses on creating sample packs. I don't have that. I just include the sample pack here. Could be something that I can make in the future, but right now I've just included this with the How to Work with Music Tech Companies bundle. So, yes. Um, any other questions? Okay, I think I've answered all the questions. Oh, yes, music tech companies are hiring people for content in Spanish. Think about it. The Spanish market is massive and there's a lot of Spanish music tech creators. I wish I had the energy and time and resources to do my content in Spanish also. In fact, I think Mr. Beast created a whole separate channel of all of his exact content translated in Spanish. So it's a lot of opportunity there as well. Um, Yay. Oh, my MIDI class. So all of my free stuff is just at my links in bio. So I'll put that here, sides.co.links, and then it's just like in the free section. So feel free to go crazy with all the free stuff. Hopefully that um so send me an email if you guys have any questions. I don't know if I'm going to offer this deal again because like I said, I just wanted to offer something really special for everyone that committed to watching this live and I may be able to give you a better deal than $500, but this is like the lowest deal that I have to offer and I want to be fair to the people that stayed at the end of the live and did this purchase. So, but you can always send me an email and we can go from there. Like I said, sidesproduction@gmail.com. is my email, and then Ethan can drop the link one more time. So yeah. Oh, which companies are looking for pianists? So I would work backwards and think, okay, what companies do you, as a piano player, buy from? And then what kind of content would they like to see? For example, when I was building up my content strategy, I was like, okay, I want to work with Apple. What kind of content would they like to see? And then I started with, here's a cool Logic Pro tip. Da 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 Logic Pro tip. Yes, I will send you guys the replay, and I will talk to you guys all soon. Okay. I think I answered all your questions. Wow, thank you so much for being here, for staying here till the end. I will see you all either in the community, hopefully in the private community, and I will see you on socials. Like I said, oh, if you guys have questions, send me an email. Don't DM me because my DMs just get very swamped. I can't even read all the messages or see all the messages. So definitely send me an email if you have questions. Bye. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Bye.